block content. What's happening, my block buddies? Today's a very special day because we're joined by very special guests. So let's hear it, guys. What's up?
I'm a special guest.
I'm not quite as special.
That's awesome.
Me too.
So get ready. We are going to have some leak speculation and our predictions for the big show. Today we get to talk a little Nintendo Direct, and more specifically the upcoming Nintendo Direct that's live streaming tomorrow, which was originally scheduled for last week, and most of you know that that was postponed because of the tragic events in Hokkaido. It goes without saying that all of our hearts are with the victims and survivors, and I hope that with this little YouTube channel, we can just channel at least a little bit of, positivity into the world. So that's why I've done the Nick Fury Avengers thing, and I've gathered an elite team of awesome people for tonight's panel. And something cool, tomorrow we'll be live streaming the Nintendo Direct and doing a full reaction and discussion to the entire thing. So whatever newcomer is announced for Smash, we'll react to it and we'll discuss it. So be sure to subscribe to Block Content now, hit that bell so you'll be notified when we go live tomorrow. I hope to see you there. So thanks everybody for watching our series, Snake Codex, Smashtastic, and Cranky Kong's Advice. Lots of great new suggestions came in from you guys, and yeah, we've got new videos this week, so be prepared. A brand new show is debuting after our Direct video, and the last video I hinted what that series is about. It's about a character that joined the Smash roster in Brawl. You want another hint? Well, this character might be phoning it in. Anyway, as is tradition with Block Content, we have the comment question of the day, and if you answer it down below in the comments, your comment might get featured on the next episode of Block Content. Today's comment question is, and for my guests too, so think about this, what are your predictions for the Nintendo Direct? And also remember that we have an awesome giveaway going, a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate pin that is exclusive to Europe, but anyone in the world can win it here on Blocked Content. All you gotta do is give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend. Let me know why you deserve that awesome pin. Alright, guys. Right now, it's almost midnight around here, and we're feeling comfy. This discussion is all about predicting what games and moments will show up in tomorrow's Nintendo Direct presentation, which is scheduled to be about 35 minutes long. Without further ado, here is our panel for tonight. Our first guest from GameXplain and a lot of other very cool channels, including Go Nintendo, Nintendo World Report, and other stuff. It is the famous writer, Dan. What's up, Dan?
Hey everybody.
So I'm really excited we get to talk some Direct. We even met up in person last week and we had some Starbucks, we talked some Nintendo. So it's really great to have you on the show, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So last time you were here, more than a year ago, I think. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, it was in March 2017, honestly.
I think so. You have a really good memory.
No, it was even earlier. It was even January of 2017, yeah, because then I was at the preview showcase for the Switch, one of the first people to play it in Europe, and you wanted to know everything about it, so I said, okay, let's do this. Definitely, we wanted to get the first, little preview of what the Switch is all about, and what's really cool is now we know a whole lot more what the Switch is capable of and what awesome games we're going to play on it, so I'm really excited. I just really want to know one thing from you right off the bat, Okay, so what is your most anticipated Switch game? Ooh, I think the remaster of The World Ends With You.
Ooh, that's coming up, right?
It's coming on October 12, yes.
Awesome, and what about that game really excites you? Have you played the originals?
Well, first of all, it's one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. So that's already the most important thing. I think it made excellent uses of the DS and what the DS was capable of. It was one of the first strong RPGs I felt for that platform. There were some RPGs before then and some really strong ones after, but that was really one of the first. In many ways, to me, the things that are leading up to that remaster on Switch feel like a long time coming. Because I'm a guy who loves this game to death, I played it on every single system it released for, and it was first on DS, where I played it a couple of times, and it seemed to indicate that something would happen in the future with a new story, what have you. They brought that tease, they brought a bigger tease, but they brought it over to iPad and other iOS devices. I mostly played it on iPad because it fits better with the control scheme. But they made a very strong hint towards the future and bringing new content regarding Duel's End with You to some point in the future. We didn't hear about it for a while, for about 5 years after the iPad version came out. And then in January 2018, that port was announced, and it basically said from, hey, yeah, that whole new story that we're teasing, that whole new week of content, because basically the story was split up in days, that is coming to the Nintendo Switch version. And so basically I'm getting the original adventure plus a whole new story on top of that, which is not a new sequel, it's basically adding to what the original brought to the table. That felt like the biggest surprise to me all year, and as it comes closer and closer, we're like a month away from the game's release, I'm sort of starting to feel it.
Alright, next up is someone who's been with block content for a very long time and is joining us from an ocean away. It's Alex from Console Warriors. Hey man.
Hey everybody. I haven't been here since, they announced that the Nintendo Switch was a thing, so back again, one more time, back with a new rhyme.
Wow, that's that's pretty impressive. So you actually have some hurricane trouble over there, right? Are you okay? Are you doing okay?
Well, it doesn't hit till probably sometime right after the direct, so heaven forbid, Sakurai, please push the storm away. Keep it away from my power lines. I need to be able to see this direct.
Exactly. We need to see it live and not a week after what it is now. I mean, I hate natural disasters. That's just stop being a disaster, natural disasters. It's horrible.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo delayed it a week because of what the horrible things that were just happening in Japan. Nobody cares about Alex. Nobody cares about Hurricane Florence. No, we're airing this thing. To heck with Alex and his priorities of needing to talk about this online.
Exactly. So I just wanted to say it's been a lot of fun, sharing ideas together for videos, working together. Really appreciate it, man. So I was mainly wondering, what's a game for Nintendo Switch that is not yet announced, but that you really want Nintendo to make?
Luigi's Mansion 3. Make it happen.
That's a really good idea.
Well, the thing is, a lot of talk online, that Castlevania trailer, Luigi's Poltergeist was very different than how it's been portrayed in any other bit of Mario material. I mean, it had a visible thing where the dust goes, and then he has the ability to shoot a plunger. So either that's hinting at a future Luigi's Mansion, or I don't know. That's my top prediction.
Crazy.
Yes.
I totally love me some Luigi's Mansion. I think that'll be really great. I think there's a lot that you can do with a Switch, the controllers, the Joy-Cons. I think there's a lot of possibility with looking for ghosts and having the rumble feature and stuff like that.
If that Castlevania trailer is anything to go off of, you'll be able to shoot plungers. So
oh yes,
so
that's gonna be cool.
You can take the Joy-Con and maybe aim and shoot. I mean, who knows? The possibilities are never ending.
All right, guys, our final panelist for tonight. I get to introduce this guy. It's Willem. What's up, man?
Hey, thank you. Nice to be here for the very first time.
It is, actually. Yeah, it's really cool because we are both actually ex-Nintendo employees, which is awesome.
Right, yeah. I worked there for half a year in the marketing and digital media creation department. So, behind the scenes Nintendo knowledge. But, mostly just fun talking about Nintendo.
Exactly, that's what we're here for, right? So we've never crossed paths before with Nintendo, but it's really cool that we get to talk now. And of course, we are working together on a feature film, which is awesome. We're actually meeting tomorrow of all days for the writer's room of that show. So I'm really excited to kick some ideas around with you, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
So, quick question before we share our predictions, okay? So I kind of want to test your Nintendo knowledge, or at least what you have in your household right now. What is your favorite game on Nintendo Switch right now? What games do you own?
Of course, the basics like Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, they're very easy picks, I would say. They're very good. Though I have to say, I really enjoyed my time with Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It's been so surprising seeing both that game announced, released, and then afterwards having the Donkey Kong DLC. So I had an absolute blast playing through that. But the Nintendo Switch for me has kind of also become my indie system. I love playing all the little titles in breaks in every moment I get, and it's just a lot of fun to try out a lot of new stuff, which I wasn't able to get around before. So stuff like Iconoclast, Into the Breach, Stardew Valley. I'm really digging all those titles.
Awesome, man. So I think you would be an advocate to have Rabbids in Smash.
Actually, I would really prefer Rayman, but that's just an old school nostalgic pick for me.
I'm all for Rabbids though.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them. Rabbid Peach definitely has enough character of her own.
Oh man, her taunts would just be all making different kinds of selfies.
Definitely.
Oh man, so all right guys, that's our panel. Those are the three amazing guys that are helping me with these predictions. The rules are very simple. Everyone gets 3 predictions, and when someone has the same prediction, you'll just quickly switch it around for the sake of conversation. We'll tally up the votes after the direct is aired, and we'll never remember to speak of it again. But seriously, it's a fun game. We'll go through everyone's number 3s first and make our way up to everyone's number 1 prediction. And should we start with me for this one, maybe? That sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, nepotism. Go right ahead.
All right, so my number 3 prediction will be that with this Nintendo Direct, I think we will see the final roster of playable characters for Super Mario Party.
Whoa,
I think so.
I mean, that was already revealed, so...
Yes. It was already revealed. I think it was some Japanese commercial or something.
No, a Japanese video feature of like 35 minutes showcasing a full board in Super Mario Party.
And we've not had anything in English or something?
Not really. Not any proper marketing materials, which is weird.
Well, until tomorrow. Because I think that they're gonna drop that tomorrow in the Direct. I think they're gonna play it up really big. Oh my gosh, you can play as, like, what's the female Boom Boom character? It's like
Pom Pom.
Oh, that's actually a really cool name. Does she have pom-poms, or is it...
No.
Her name is Pom Pom.
Okay. Well, anyway, they're gonna make a big deal out of it. I think that's like my number 3 prediction. It's like the entire Super Mario Party roster, and no one cares because everybody knows about it.
Well, as long as Waluigi is the top tier character in Super Mario Party.
Waluigi still number 1.
Always getting all the good items.
Hallelujah. So okay, so number 3 prediction, I think we'll go with Alex next.
Oh joy, now I get to make something up on the spot. Well, I could just, steal from like the small leaks and tidbits that have been making its way onto the internet that obviously would have been dropped if the Direct had dropped on time. But let's go with something completely random. Looking around my room, Pikmin 4. Let's finally get some. Let's finally get some news on that. It's been forever since we've heard about Pikmin 4 still being in development. Upcoming Switch games. It'd be a pretty good surprise.
That's actually a really good one. It's supposedly been in development for quite some time, right, Daan? Do you know anything about that?
Pikmin 4 was in development... Well, the first time that Miyamoto mentioned it was a year before the Switch was announced. So it has been a while since he talked about it in general.
Oh, yeah. Right. Well, so it might actually be something that they're working on right now. I think the 3DS game was kind of like, oh yeah, we like the IP. I think there's different things we can do with it. But I think everybody's kind of waiting for this like big new... And it'd be portable too, which would be pretty great.
Yeah. And of course, it would. You can't do worse than Hey Pikmin which bit of one of the subpar 3DS titles.
No, I really enjoyed Hey Pikmin.
It looks really great too. I think like visually, even though it's 2D, I think it kind of has some unique charm to it.
Yeah, I will stand by that game. I really enjoyed Hey Pikmin from start to finish. I think it's a very intriguing little puzzle game. It's not a Pikmin game, but more of a puzzle game. And it's really fun to play, just kick back and relax and play a few levels late at night. I had a really good time playing that game.
Yeah, it was kind of a unique twist on the whole formula with Pikmin. I never got into the original games, and I actually had to play a lot of Hey Pikmin for the marketing purposes, and it was kind of intriguing how they tried to combine all these different elements into a 2D style game, which reminded me of Yoshi Touch and Go.
Oh yeah, that
one of the early DS games. So it was a pretty cool concept. I haven't played the complete game, but I liked it enough.
I maxed out like the fuel, but I stopped at the last world because I just kind of got a little bit bored from the game. But looking at it as more of a puzzle game, yeah, I mean, it's probably a pretty solid game. I just, as a Pikmin title alone, not my favorite.
All right. Well, I think that takes us to, I think we'll go with Willem for your number 3 prediction. What is it?
Okay, I'm gonna throw out a crazy one. So, as Dan mentioned before, The World Ends With You Remastered comes out in October. I feel like we should get up for another DS remake, but we're already getting Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story, so hear me out. Elite Beat Agents Remastered for the Switch.
Oh.
Can I immediately shoot it down?
No,
does it feel
you
really
don't.
bad?
Yeah, you can, definitely.
That studio hasn't done anything original since the third game, which was exclusive in Japan. All of their games afterwards has been contract work.
Maybe behind the scenes they're like planning the revival of Elite Beat Agents.
Because if you don't know, Nintendo published that game. They don't own it. That game was self-published by them in Japan.
Yeah. Well, it seems to me like not necessarily as something that is likely to happen, but I feel like with the whole concept of the Switch, and if you can bring over a game like The World Ends With You, which has its very own intriguing touchscreen implementation for the gameplay, I feel that Elite Beat Agents would really fit well into a Switch port. So yeah, it's kind of more of an out there idea, but for number 3, I think it's a pretty cool.
You should have saved it for number 1, though. That's a really crazy idea.
Oh, my number 1 could be more crazy, but I'll leave that.
Yeah,
I like the idea because when I think about it, like Elite Beat Agents could actually be a franchise that like expands in like the sequels. So if you think about like dancing around to a song with like the Joy-Cons, but maybe even like have singing and stuff like that too. So everyone is a different person in the band, you know?
Yeah, and I think that the concept isn't too difficult to manage. You could also update songs, make new covers or whatever. I feel like it's a franchise that has more potential, and especially if you look like a PC game, Osu, it's really based on that. It has a lot of user-generated content. I feel like there's a lot of space to try new stuff out with the franchise.
I love this prediction, and it's also funny because I think they had a trophy in Smash Brothers for Wii U, right?
No, in Brawl, I believe, or a sticker or something.
It was in Brawl, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So, yeah, they did get some love, which is cool because, the Osu game and Elite Beat Agents were like almost like 2 entirely different entities, and still getting that, the Elite Beat Agent game some love. I thought that was remarkable. Really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll go with Dan for your number 3 prediction.
Welcome to reality, folks. I only have realistic predictions.
Oh no.
Good idea.
So I first always start with a joke answer. So my joke answer for this one, Urban Champion is one of the 20 NES titles. Moving on.
Okay.
Very specific.
Yeah. Urban Champion, the number 1 NES game that nobody wants to play.
Wait, was that your entire prediction, or was that a part?
I said a funny joke. I always thought you were a funny joke.
Funny,
and it was funny.
But seriously, my first prediction, and everybody will see this coming. New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe is a real thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like it has been long rumored and long discussed. We have been talking about for the larger part of 2018. I think if it was any moment that it's coming, it's likely now.
And
So
and
what
not,
would be the new content?
I don't think there will be much new content, man.
Oh no, really?
I just don't think it's Mario, you, and Luigi, you in one package.
Oh, okay. When you said like deluxe, it might like in my head.
Well,
even be like,
that's the rumored name for it.
Oh, that's right. So how cool would it be if they ported like the original DS game and then number 2 as well, and just had like the collection of all the new Super Mario Bros. Games. So even new Super Mario Bros. Wii, I think that was like its own, like that was the first one where you could play with 4 characters, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it would be like a collection. That would increase the value for people, right?
Yeah, but I don't think Nintendo is that creative. When it comes to a collection of old games, look at how they're handling the online servers. I don't think they're that creative.
No,
And
I think they'll
Speaking
squeeze
of
more.
creativity, do you think that would shoot down a port of Super Mario Maker?
Which was
Not necessarily, because they're both different entities. Like, if you look at New Super Mario Bros., there are dedicated levels built with a certain structure in mind. Like, the whole feeling of Super Mario Maker is that everyone can play it. If you look at interviews, their intention is advanced Mario players can get a lot out of it with the wall jumps and everything, but standard players can still do everything without running. That's their main goal when it comes to New Super Mario Bros. With Super Mario Maker, it's just about doing whatever you want and going wild with it. And that is the key difference here. I think that there's a structure in place from how a New Super Mario Bros. Game should work and how it should build up in comparison to how a Super Mario Maker game should work. Because if you look at the missions that were included in the 3DS version of the game, they went really wild with it and sort of forced a lot of mechanics on you.
I think it's an interesting take. I do believe that something like Mario Maker will make its way to Switch, and I really wanted to because that game is really good, but it also has some holes in it, right? Like thinking about how do you create levels when you're playing on the TV, like or when you're on the go. Like it doesn't really match up all that well because you don't always have the same functionality everywhere. So I don't know how they'll manage.
I mean, there are technically motion controls in a Joy-Con, so it doesn't rule it out entirely.
Yeah, there are
and plus the
possibilities.
touchscreen.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and on the go you can use touchscreen.
And on the go, of course, you can use touchscreen. That's right. Okay, well, we've all done our first round. Let's make it to the second round. Things will heat up a little bit, right? So we'll start with me again. My second prediction is, and I hope I don't steal any of yours with this one, I think we will see a little bit of a certain bounty hunter. I think we'll see the first footage of Metroid Prime 4.
Nope.
No.
You guys don't think so?
No.
No. I think it's too early.
High time. Yeah, it is a bit
No,
early.
I think it's too early.
There has been like this little teaser, and I think that if you are going so long without even showing...
Little teaser? That was 14 seconds in a logo, man.
I think that constitutes as a little teaser.
No, that's a logo.
I don't think it was
maybe-
even a logo because I don't think the game's going to be called 4 at all. So it was just a few seconds of nothing.
Okay, first we got a logo, and maybe now we'll get a teaser.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do think that the first time they'll show off anything about Metroid Prime 4, I think it'll be gameplay. I don't think that that's the type of property you'll do like a CG trailer with. I think that it's all about the first-person perspective, and you'll show it in gameplay. I think even the art direction and the graphics from the GameCube games, way back when, were pretty good. Like for that whole era, it was actually really great. And then having them updated later, it was really good too. So I do think that if they show it off, it'll be in-game. I really don't know to what extent they have anything, and we don't know the developer, right? We know it's not Retro. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a combination of a young team at Nintendo, and they set another developer, but it's heavily definitely implied it's Bandai Namco, but nothing ever serious was
That
said.
would be interesting if it were to be Bandai Namco, because that would mean that there might be a bigger focus on something like combat and not necessarily like exploration and stuff like that. I don't know how people would feel about that after Other M. But yeah, I do think that there is something, you know. I think back to the time where we were in that direct and they announced a new Pokemon game for Switch, and it was like, there is a new Pokemon game for Switch coming, and that was it. And then it was like, there is a new Metroid Prime game coming. And now we know what the new Pokemon game is, and we've all seen it, and it's releasing really soon.
Technically, no, because the new Pokemon game that they mentioned back then is coming out next year.
Oh, so they were mentioning the whole new gen.
Gen 8, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yep.
So maybe we won't get Metroid after all. I'll be sad.
Yeah, I'm not expecting...
I mean, when you first said it... Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. The first thing when you said a certain bounty hunter, I was thinking that you're going to say the Metroid Prime trilogy.
Okay, yeah. I think it'd be weird to do like if your first Metroid announcement now would be trilogy. I think people would riot in the streets.
No, I think people would be pretty happy to play the trilogy in a decent time frame.
Or even better,
because
a Federation Force port.
Right. For Switch.
I mean, people like the shit on Federation Force. Once again, that was a fun game that people didn't know what they wanted.
Yeah, I think it had some quality. I think that if it was called something different, that people would still be playing it today, and we're like, wow, that new Nintendo IP is really cool, where you like travel together with these chibi robot guys.
People knew what they wanted. They wanted another Metroid Prime game. But when they heard that this game that had almost nothing to do gameplay wise with Metroid Prime being set in the IP,
can I be straight up with you? Have you played it?
No.
It's pretty much the gameplay. It's pretty much a gameplay of Metroid Prime.
Oh
yeah,
I'm
it
sorry.
is pretty cute.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about things. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm
not a
true
dismissed.
Nintendo. I'm not a true Nintendo fan. Time to hang up my Mario hat.
Yeah. Oh no.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be offensive, but it's like that's the way it is. It was, but people didn't know or didn't even play the game, and it tanked pretty quickly. But what the gameplay was more exploration focused and still pretty much the mechanics of what a Metroid Prime game was. It was a very weird game because it was multiplayer. It didn't have a good single player focus. So if people are upset about that, then I absolutely agree with that, because it was not a single player Metroid game, but as a multiplayer game in the style of what they tried to do with Hunters, but Hunters didn't work as well as Federation Force did. I totally understand where they're coming from.
I think that if I'm being honest, I think that if they get certain elements out of Federation Force and put it in Metroid Prime 4, like as like an added bonus like mode, like a co-op mode, and maybe if it's only like 2 characters instead of like 4, I think that would actually make people go, oh wait, that Federation Force was kind of like an experiment for something bigger down the road.
Oh yeah, I think that could totally work for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So for our number 2 prediction, the next one I think we'll go with Alex.
Oh joy! Time to make something up on the spot based on the Nintendo items hanging around my room. Let's see.
A dog.
I don't want to go with any of the obvious predictions, so let's see here. Phoenix
That's
Wright.
me.
Yes.
Oh.
They have. I think I've read in interviews that they said there have been talks about porting the original trilogy over onto the Switch.
What?
And they have a new game in development, and I believe in Tokyo pretty soon they're going to have some sort of panel for Ace Attorney.
Yes.
That was actually cancelled, I heard.
Oh.
Yeah, it was planned, but originally I think it was cancelled with another interfering thing.
Wow.
But the thing is that they did talk about porting the original games to Switch, yeah. So it's technically possible. I think there's a chance that we'll see it.
I just really want the great Ace Attorney or one of the Japanese-only games that we still haven't seen in the West.
I will tell you this: the Grace Attorney is never coming over.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that too. Just like Investigations 2.
Well, Investigations 2, you at least have a fan translation somewhere online.
Yeah, that's true.
The Great Ace Attorney, you have to go and find some YouTube channels with really dedicated people who have subtitled it in English. And
yeah, and it was hard to do as well, because the form of Japanese they're using, some of the kanji was really old kanji that they don't use in modern Japanese anymore.
Right, like ye old English.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's a pretty out there prediction, I think, because we've not seen all that much of Phoenix Wright, like in the West, like you guys are saying. I would love it. I think that there's place for Phoenix Wright in Smash as well. And we talked about that. Yeah, exactly. We talked about that in the previous video. And he's actually one of the fans' favorites, which is pretty cool. I didn't know. I think he was in Marvel vs. Capcom. What was it?
3.
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
That's right.
I always play as him, even though I'm garbage at that game and can never figure out how to get him to turnabout mode.
Yeah.
Well, I think that if he becomes a character in Smash Brothers, he has to be like drastically different from that incarnation, and I think that he will be, because it's Sakurai and he never wants to do the same thing as the other guys. There are ways to be a little more creative with that, I think, and of course we all know the final Smash, it'll be like the Hammer of Justice or something.
I want that. I want his hyper, that one hyper combo that's like the strongest move in the Marvel game, where he just throws the evidence. It goes into a courtroom scene, and then he says, "Time for you to pay for your crimes. Take this."
Yeah, I feel like with the whole Sakurai angle for assist trophies, Phoenix Wright has more chance as a special guest assist trophy, where he just shouts, "Take that, hold it," and objection, and he pushes fighters away. It has far more likely, instead of creating a whole original moveset. But I would love to see him as a fighter. I don't see it happening.
I agree completely with you. I think that'd be awesome.
I agree too. I don't realistically see him as a fighter. It would be great, but at best he'd probably just be an assist trophy, and if not that, then I'm fingers crossed for like a regular trophy.
Right. Yeah. No, assist trophy is a great idea for sure.
Yeah.
So for our last or second to last second prediction, wow, that's a whole mouthful. We'll go with Willem.
Okay. More on the safe side, not that out there. I'm gonna say Bethesda has been really close with Nintendo, really supportive. Doom Eternal is coming over as well. So I'm saying Fallout 4 is gonna get a port on the Switch. It's gonna launch around February.
Wow, that's very specific.
Yeah, I feel like Bethesda has been really close to Nintendo. They're also releasing Elder Scrolls Blades later this year. I think that's getting a Switch port as well. At least it's coming to mobile and other consoles. So I feel like Fallout 4 would be a next logical step. And yeah.
Yeah, they have been buddy-buddy, right? So I could definitely see it happening. And I think that it's one of those games that a lot of Nintendo players did not, necessarily pick up, because they usually only have the one console. And it would be so crazy to have people explore a game like that on a Nintendo console, handheld,
Right.
That big of a world.
I think that and the crafting mechanic is also really cool, where you can create your own base. And just add in the amiibo functionality for the power armor in the color of Samus. Done.
Oh. You thought this out completely.
I'm really making this up on the spot, but when I was thinking of the Breath of the Wild Link costume, so you could add something with power armor too.
Oh yeah, I can see it happening. That's actually a really good prediction. So we'll go for our last, the second prediction with Dan. Let's hear it.
Once again, I'm the realistic guy. I'm predicting that the Smash Brothers character that we will see that is the Nintendo Direct is new. He or she is not an Echo.
Okay, interesting. So not anymore? No specifics?
The reason why I think that is because Nintendo Directs usually end with a bang, and in thinking about what this Direct could be and what potentially could be, I had no idea of a bigger thing that they could showcase outside of my first prediction, which we will get into later.
Cool.
But outside of that, the biggest thing that I can show is one of the few last new characters that will be in Smash.
Oh, that's really interesting. So you don't think that there will be a Smash segment? You just think that they'll end
There will
with
be a trailer. There will be a character trailer.
just only a trailer. Yeah, no Sakurai talking to the audience or whatever.
Just like how they did with Ridley, it will end with a character trailer.
Interesting. And any ideas on who the character would be, or am I pushing it?
It's really difficult to say, because I feel that he have done most of the top requests of fans now.
Yes.
He's done King K. Rool, Ridley, he made Dark Samurai and Crom Echo Fighters. What really remains? And most of what I think of are Echo Fighters, so the new character could be a surprise. In an ideal world, I would say something like Isaac from Golden Sun, even though I don't think that's gonna happen. So honestly, I'm not sure who the new character will be.
So might it be like one of those NES revival characters, like Mac Rider, or one character that I've always wanted in Smash, and I actually made a Smash fan game back in the day, and one of our characters, like the final one you unlock, was Balloon Fighter, and he had this awesome move set, like he had 2 balloons in his back, but he uses them to punch, so he turned around and he'd smack you in the face with a balloon. But of course, the villager has the move, so that isn't happening anymore. But
I mean, we're overdue for sort of a retro revival, or at least a revival from something that didn't had a game for a while. Like I mentioned Isaac. Isaac is a good example of that. But if you want to go further, then NES or Super Nintendo is something you can also pile from. But it indeed has been a while since we heard anything about some sort of revival character coming to Smash.
I don't see it happening. To be fair, I feel like Sakurai is really pushing the fan favorites at the moment. I don't see a retro revival character fitting in there. I feel like, to a certain degree, bringing all the old characters back who haven't appeared before is kind of like his way of saying these are our quote-unquote retro revivals, like Pichu. I know that sounds stupid. Like, in general, it's not an NES character, but I feel like that really weird out there character, I don't see that happening this time around.
All right. Interesting. Well, I think that we've reached a climax in our conversation because we are going on to everybody's number 1 prediction. So this is where it all comes to a head, you guys. So we'll start with me. Just be fair. This prediction, I think it's something that I really want and not necessarily something that I think will happen. So again, I think Daan will be the realistic guy. But I do think that it has to happen either now or in the next Direct. I think that we will finally find out in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate what that new game mode is. I think that we'll find out if it's a story mode or something of a Smash run or a dungeon crawler or a subspace emissary type of thing, an adventure mode. We will get something, and we might not get it in a big segment. We might get it in fleeting, like a few images from like a general trailer, but I think we're very close to launch right now. I think that if they are going to talk about the game a little bit more, they might expand on it. But I think that if they teased it like that, people would be tuning in for the next possible Direct to find out what it is. I think Sakurai knows that, and I don't think he'll reveal the curtain on everything that new whatever spirits mode will be, but I think that we'll get more of an idea of what this boss rush thing is.
Well, we don't know if it is a boss rush thing or anything else. We don't know what it is.
We just know that there will be bosses in the game.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
But those could be also in classic mode because classic mode is coming back to its old form, which had bosses.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or they could work how Yellow Devil and Ridley worked in Smash 4.
They could be.
And to be honest, with all the other time allotted for new announcements, which a few of them we already know, we can expect, I feel like there's not enough time to go into detail about the story mode just yet. I feel like it's going to be a Smash-specific Direct again around October, like 2 months before release.
I think end of October is maybe a point where we see one more Smash Direct. I don't think it's time to showcase Spirits mode just yet.
I think it's kind of like doing the rain dance is what I'm doing now. It's like I just pray and hope that it will happen because it has to happen because I literally can't take the weight for finding out what that blurred image is and what happens when you press that green button. And, you know, I mean, I want to know how far Sakurai goes with this, right? If he's saying, well, everyone's here and every stage is here, well, is every game mode here? Are we gonna get like a big story mode? I mean, I feel like he would have said something to the contrary if we are not getting something pretty big and pretty substantial. So again, it's something of a high hope, but I really, really want to find out what.
But you also have to realize that nobody has really asked him that because he hasn't done interviews.
That's true, actually. You are right.
I know what Spirit Mode will be. It will just be a bigger, better version of Home Run Contest. Yes.
So you maybe like
perfect.
a reverse version of it, like you play a sandbag, and every time you start, it's like another character you have to smash away. Sandbag's Revenge.
No, it's a Sakurai-specific mode where you have to work on the game without a break for as long as you can.
Oh,
jeez.
Wow. And then like break every bone in your body and lose everyone you love, and then your wife like leaves you because you only spend time in the game studio, and then your kids are like forgetting your face because they never see you.
Okay, now it's getting depressing.
And then become immortal from the tears of sad Waluigi fans.
Well, that was my prediction list. So it was Super Mario Party, and then it was Metroid Prime 4, and then Spirits Mode. And I think all three are very like hopeful. I don't think that there's a big chance, but
How is number 3 hopeful?
It's hopeful for me.
But it's already come true. We already know the characters.
All right, so we'll go with the number 1 prediction from Alex. So what's that thing in your room right there?
Let's see. Oh my goodness. I think I've run out of cool things.
A cat.
Sans from Undertale in Smash.
Oh, darn it.
Oh, God.
Oh,
no way.
No.
Good night, everybody.
You get one more chance. You get one more shot.
Reggie Fils-Aimé will make an appearance. That's my prediction.
That's a really good prediction, actually. Wow.
Well, honestly, my number 1 was something to do with Luigi's Mansion. Either more details on the 3DS remake, or maybe a tease for a potential sequel for the Switch. But I think we'll see Luigi in some capacity, hopefully more alive than dead.
Yeah, I hope so too. Like, he's not a spirit anymore. And I think seeing Luigi's Mansion remake for the 3DS, that's a lock, right? We're gonna see that.
Yeah, because it comes out in October, and everyone in the UK gets a pre-order bonus of this awesome Luigi hat, and I hate everyone because I want it, and they don't sell it in the US.
But also, you're getting the game a week earlier than us.
Yeah.
Well, But still, I trade that week just to have a Luigi's hat, because I still have the original game, and I trade that week just for a hat.
Well, I would go the other way. I would say, just give me the game. Just give me the game. I don't want that hat.
Well, hopefully it has a few more changes, because they haven't really announced any real changes to it besides, some small graphical updates and stuff. I mean,
and the boss mode, yeah.
The boss mode.
That's right. Well, maybe
I'm sure there's more in there, because the game itself is very short, so they need something extra to keep people engaged.
Oh, unlockable Mario, perhaps? I mean, there was Mario models scaled to Luigi's proportions in the original games files.
Welcome to Mario's Mansion.
Luigi? Where are you? Mario,
that's pretty good.
I'm stuck in the washing machine. Help!
All right, so we'll go to the number 1 prediction of a handsome man called Willem.
Oh my god, I'm handsome, that's new. Alright, I'm gonna create this mental image for you. It's dark. You hear an organ playing, and suddenly Link and Ganondorf are fighting the shit out of each other. Ganon is kicking Link backwards, and suddenly Toon Link is jumping over Link and fighting Ganon, and behind Ganon pops up young Link. They defeat Ganon, and suddenly they look up into the sky and see the moon crashing down on them with Skull Kid as the new character. Skull Kid remains as the only character until we hear a sword sling and Impa shows up. So, 2 for the price of 1. Basically Skull Kid and Impa. What? I feel like the Zelda series is way too underrepresented, although the addition of Young Link does make it a bit better. Skull Kid, I feel at this point, is one of the very last real fan requests that is still kind of in the dark. The whole assist trophy of the moon without Skull Kid is a really good giveaway. I don't believe the entire idea that in the last direct the background was hinting towards Skull Kid. I like the idea, but I don't buy it fully. I think it's too far-fetched. But Skull Kid, I do see having an honest chance of being the newcomer. I feel like we won't get a third-party rep because it's a Nintendo Direct, and I think that a third-party representative would be more fitted for that Smash Direct I was talking about. And I feel like Impa would be a great addition to balance out the fighters with the whole heroes and villains team. Plus, you would get a more fully representative Zelda series, as it were. So you could do Impa from Skyward Sword, because that's the only one we're still missing in the whole canon.
That's true. Wow. I really like that idea, and I felt it. Like, when you were describing it, I was like, I was there. Like, it was almost like I heard sound effects in my head or something.
Yeah, instead of the Inkling with the whole Smash emblem in her eye, it's like the moon in the eyes of the Links.
Yeah,
At first, I thought you were just describing a Hyrule Warriors commercial.
Well, I would totally dig, Ganon from Hyrule Warriors, but that's an entire point. Entirely different point.
So do you think that Impa will be an Echo Fighter of Sheik?
No, I feel like they would both be newcomers, because I feel Impa as a clone of Sheik would be a bit... I feel on the nose. It could work, but I feel like it would work better as their own separate character, based on the design from Warriors, though I feel there's a very slim chance of that happening because of the whole rights issue. I feel like they don't own the franchise, the Warriors designs as well.
Well, they own the designs.
Okay.
Nintendo owns the designs.
Well, I feel like Impa from Skyward Sword would be a good idea to just balance out everyone. Plus, you would get a representative for the Skyward Sword stage, which is returning. So it would even out the field, and you would have the entire Legend of Zelda, because Young Link is also based on Ocarina of Time, and we don't have a Majora's Mask representative, so Skull Kid would be great for that, and more villains.
I think it would be really good. I also think in terms of like the Heroes and Villains theme, and also the announcements so far have been of the big franchises, right? Donkey Kong gets a new character, Metroid gets a new character.
Plus, in this cinematic, all the Links would die, so it could cross off that on the list.
Yeah, they'll all become like spirits, like Navi or something.
Well, I don't really know about more Zelda representation, because at this point they have, like, what, 6 fighters?
5.
No, because you got 3 Links, Ganon, Zelda, and Sheik.
Yeah, true. Yeah, okay.
But, wait, but how many does Fire Emblem have?
Or Pokemon. Fire Emblem would be 7, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Like, Legend of Zelda deserves at least 2 more. It's the Legend of Zelda.
We need more people with swords.
Well, that's the interesting, because Skull Kid would be a great variant addition. You could use the magic, maybe even the masks to a certain extent. Though, of course, thinking up a moveset for Skull Kid is a bit difficult. But I feel like if they really wanted to push the fan favorites line, Skull Kid would be a pretty obvious choice.
Well, you can join the Waluigi fans in the Assist Trophy Disappointment Corner when, in a new Smash trailer, they show a Skull Kid Assist Trophy.
Definitely. Though I have to say, at this point for Smash, I'm really satisfied. Like, if there are no more newcomers, that's sad. But at this point, we get everyone back, plus a few new ones. I'm happy. So,
I think there will be, if I'm being completely honest with myself, I think there'll likely be 2 more newcomers and like 3 more Echoes.
Yeah, I think 3 newcomers personally and 4 Echoes, because I feel that would even out. I think we're now at 67, 68? So, like, I don't know.
Like
75 would be a good, even, or general good ending point, but who knows?
Sakurai's trolling us. See, he says, don't expect too many newcomers. No, we're pushing this roster straight up to 100, baby.
Never ever.
You get an Echo, and you get an Echo.
Every character gets an Echo.
I would love that, though.
I think that's a very Sakurai thing to do. I've thought about that. Like, there is an Echo to be thought of every character, so it is possible. I don't think it'll happen. I do think that there are at least 2 more characters left to reveal. I personally also think about 3 or 4 more. I would say 4, just because I think of the months that are still ahead, and I think that in the previous one, we got 2. We got original characters. We got K. Rool and we got Simon in the same direct. So if you think about the time that's still ahead, I think we'll push like 4 new ones.
I don't think so, because every new character takes about 2 to 3 months to develop, and if you look at the development cycle of Smash Ultimate, this is just my prediction. I think like 2 or 3 newcomers would make sense, but more is kind of pushing it.
It is pushing it, yeah. I think though that this whole game is kind of about pushing it. I think that if a cartridge could explode from too much awesome, I think like everybody's Switch would be in danger soon.
I don't care who else they put in the game. I mean, we're good on fighters. I mean, they keep throwing more in, and I'm like, okay, yay, good for the fans of those characters. I don't need any more new characters, Sakurai. Show me those modes.
That's true. Yeah, I think so too. The modes.
I feel like modes will get their own segment later down the line. I feel it's more important to get that base roster down, and I feel like Sakurai hinted at that in the last direct. So I think characters first and then the final mode, because I think it will tie into that.
Ooh, that's a great prediction.
Unless they're going for that big story mode, somewhat reminiscent of Subspace Emissary. I mean, if they're doing something like that, they might want to hype that up a little bit earlier.
Definitely. Well, okay, guys, we are on to the final prediction. It is Daan's number 1 prediction. What is it?
Animal Crossing will reveal itself.
Ooh.
I honestly believe it is coming out maybe summer next year.
Okay, really? That's solid. Like that's specific.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a very long time, and where it makes sense in the schedule, I think it's about that time.
And what will the gimmick be? What will the new game be about?
That's the thing I'm unsure of, because how would you use the Switch to its full potential? Because everything that you want out of a multiplayer is already done on 3DS. And they need to find a way to push that harder and do new things with it.
Animal Crossing Road Trip?
Because that doesn't really make sense. But with the Wii one, you could already explore that city hall together and do some more things. With the 3DS, it became more fully integrated, and you could do whatever you liked. It makes it sort of difficult to see where they want to go.
I would say simultaneous multiplayer, because of the Switch's online local join up features that are also in Pokemon Let's Go, though that's very limited.
Yeah, but that would be very difficult to do if you want to have them both operate on the same screen.
Right.
Because they need to interact separately from each other.
I could see like the feature in New Leaf where you can use the touchscreen to optimize the layout of your house where you put items and stuff. But what if you could do that for the town?
Interesting. Town builder, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it'd be give you a bit more freedom if they're going to make you mayor again, because
from mayor to construction worker, right?
That's right. So it's like kind of Animal Crossing meets SimCity.
Because they've been kind of going that way with Happy Home Designer.
But also with just regular New Leaf, they push that mayor stuff way too hard, where you just put elements to the town. So that having as a next step actually sort of makes sense.
It's awesome. Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
You heard it here first, guys. Alex calls it. If we get it, I win the jackpot.
We've arrived at our final point. So any closing thoughts, you guys, on the direct? Like, are you excited? What are your hype levels?
I'm feeling pretty good about it. I try to stay a little bit in the realm of possibilities, but the potential, I just really hope that this is the time we see Animal Crossing at some point. Because if it's not happening now, I don't think it's something we'll see in 2019.
Yeah. And Willem, what do you think? Excited? Hyped?
I'm actually pretty low level excited. I feel like Nintendo is really not showing too much of their next year lineup just yet. So I feel like we're gonna get over Smash Ultimate, and after that it's gonna be hype for me. But yeah, I'm always excited for a Direct, so should be fun.
All right, guys. So there's one thing that we have left. Our comment question of today comes to us from blocked content fan Luxray Blast Animations, talking about his Smash Bros. Ultimate character prediction, who says, oh, by the way, Willem and Dan, I always do a different voice for people. Do you guys have any ideas for voices I should use?
Do a very grumpy voice.
Yeah, grumpy
Yes.
voice. Okay, because he's talking about Shadow, so he's like edgy, right?
Oh, yeah,
okay,
definitely.
here we go. I feel like Shadow would actually be different from Sonic. Like Shadow says to Sonic in Sonic Adventure 2 before they fight, Faker, I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be my... I'll make you eat those words! Plus, Sakurai would most likely be nicer to Shadow than breaking everyone's hearts with making him a glorified Sonic. While yes, Shadow and Sonic have the same playstyle in Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow's moves could be taken from Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, and Sonic Generations, as well as his final smash being him using the Chaos Emeralds to power the Space Colony Arc's Lunar Eclipse Cannon. Anyway, that was his whole comment. Thank you, Luxray Blast Animations, for sending it in. If you want to be the next comment question winner and we'll read it out loud, just answer today's comment question, which is, what are your Nintendo Direct predictions? So put it down below and you might be featured in our next video. And as you guys know, you can win that awesome Smash Bros. Ultimate pin. If you like this video, share it with a friend. And of course, if you want to be a part of the Blocked Content family, you can press that subscribe button and all of our shows, the news, the discussions, and more will be delivered at your doorstep. Anyways, thanks again to my amazing panelists. Guys, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm here.
Well,
Hello here.
There's always more, you guys, around the corner. This was Block Content. Bye-bye.